Radiant team ban.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Androids TV Thermal Take eSports Dota 2 Weekly. Sponsored by Thermal Take eSports and being hosted by Androids TV. With me, Kanaz, as your caster for these games, at least for today. We'll see how long we keep working together. Having fun though. Hope you guys are having fun as well. We're gonna have a game in the quarterfinals, I believe, between DDT, who are going to be on the Dire side, and a Moment, who are gonna be on the Radiant. So see, they have different name teams. wehazloltrash is going to actually be DDT, and Yemen is a Moment according to the Binary Beast brackets, if you're following those along on the Binary Beast website. We're going to see IO coming out as the first pick from a Moment. The ban's, of course, already finished. We have Batrider and Magnus getting banned out by DDT. And Nyx Assassin and Darkseer banned out by a Moment. Follow-up picks going to be both Keeper of the Light and the Phalanx. Go for the Cancer combo right off the bat. So it looks like they don't really have any fear whatsoever about how people think about them. Just going to go for it. Like, these are the heroes we want to play. These are heroes that are strong. They're hard to play against. And so we're going to just pick them up. So we'll see how a Moment want to react to that and how well they really play with this Wisp. I do believe they had it in their first match of the day, which I did not get to cast. It was pretty close. And by pretty close, I mean not close at all, of course. Heard it was a complete stomp, like 9-minute GG. So we'll see if they can run the Wisp pretty effectively. A lot of teams, especially in the less professional teams, are kind of afraid to run Wisp. Maybe they don't have the same coordination that a big professional team would have that really justifies the Wisp being banned out. I mean, that's why DDT don't really bother banning him. Just like, yeah, whatever, this team probably can't play Wisp that well. But see what they want to pair with it. They still have a lot of options. Of course, Chaos Knight in the pool if they want to go that route. But they're going to at least pick up Shadow Demon and Clockwork here. So really highly valuing the Clockwork, a hero that we usually don't see picked up this early in the draft, at least not very often. Usually we kind of just wait towards the second half of the draft, but this team, you know, maybe they're favoring him a lot. Maybe he's a definite.
Queen of Pain. Radiant team ban.
Yeah, so we're going to see what they want to go with to round out the rest of their lineup, and we're going to get Queen of Pain pickup from DDT on the Dire side as their last picks. We're going to head to the second ban phase now. Look at DDT's lineup. They got the Solo in the form of Queen of Pain, and they have two heroes that are probably going to be laying together in the form of the Keeper of Light and the Phantom Lancer. But beyond that, they have a lot of room in what they could do as of yet. If they probably going to see another Solo and another support pickup. But if they want to predict that the Wisp is going to end up in some sort of tri-lane, they can run something else.
5 seconds remaining.
And see what they're going to do about that, because a lot of times the Wisp doesn't really get run in tri-lane roles. And of course, Shundown can pair up with a lot of heroes to run in a dual lane pretty decently. So we'll see how this ban phase really goes. I kind of expected DDT to ban out some of the heroes that pair up well with the Wisp, like the Chaos Knight, like maybe the Tiny. But it's also possible they might have some insight into this team. Of course, they might know each other, perhaps better than I do, and have some particular bans they want to go for. Starting off with the Nature's Prophet, which normally I would say is kind of unusual considering the Clockwork was already picked. You're probably going to see Clockwork in that off lane. But who knows?
Dire team ban.
Continuing through here, though, we're just seeing a Moment ban on some supports. They go with Chen, actually, so maybe you're thinking they don't want to deal with any of the jungling supports. Or you're choosing to take out the Leshrac as well, and thinking about what else they might want to go for. As DDT think about their second ban, they eventually do go with the Chaos Knight, so taking out at least the sort of strongest, quotations, hero that we see paired up with the Wisp from time to time. And now last ban, coming from a Moment. see if they stick with the supports, if they want to go for another jungler. Enchantress still in the pool, if they're thinking about that route, and they're probably gonna be open to a jungler if they're really thinking about how they want to run these heroes. If they're going to run that dual lane, it really does open them up to picking the support that can jungle. Gets them a little bit more farm, makes them a little bit stronger in terms of how they're going to farm. They will have to sort of sacrifice one of their dual lanes, or one of their solo lanes against their dual lane. Probably whoever ends up in the mid lane, possibly Queen of Pain, who could end up against something like Wisp and Riki, which is really pretty fearsome when you're a Queen of Pain. The blink stun and then the silence can usually mean your death. They're actually going to go with a low Druid band. Not something I would have expected to see, considering what they had been banning out previously, but definitely a hero that could have worked out for DDT. Gives them a little bit more of a pushing carry potential in the form of the Lone Druid, especially if the Phantom Lancer kind of gets ganked a lot and isn't able to succeed maybe the way he's expecting to. But definitely not going to be a hero we're seeing this game, as they're going to choose to ban it out. And now DDT get to think about, what do these bans mean? They're kind of all over the place. They're eventually just going to be like, yeah, whatever, Tiny. That's a hero that pairs up well with a Wisp. We got out of the Nature's Prophet that we didn't want to get counter split pushed by the Nature's Prophet when we were running the Phantom Lancer strategy, where he's going to want to split push with that Keeper Light, pulling him back whenever necessary. So we'll just take him out and go from there. So now, a moment, they get to think about what they want to run. If they're going to grab another solo here, might certainly be possible. Wait until the last pick to really give away who they're going to pick up to pair up with that Wisp and what their lanes are going to be like, but they're going lifesteal at least off the bat. Certainly a hero that could be run with the Wisp, and they could just run a tri-lane with this and then grab another solo, instead of running double dual lanes. Or they could run it as a dual lane with the Wisp and the Lifestealer, or even the Shadow Demon as Lifestealer. Neither is particularly terrible. Not sure how they're going to want to run it yet, and what hero they're going to look for to fill in here. If they are going to run this as a tri-lane, they do need to pick up a solo mid of some sort. And one of the obvious ones left of the pool, maybe Storm Spirit, to just pair up with the Lifestealer as well. Has a large initiation range, and could just pull the Lifestealer in, and then you could have Wisp relocate someone like the Clockwork or even the Shadow Demon in. With the Clockwork also having a rather large initiation range, gives them the ability to really commit to fights, go very, very deep, if they want to go something like that. But Weaver going to be the pick from DDT, so kind of a more resilient off-lane carry, alternate carry. So maybe they were thinking about something like the Lone Druid to run as a semi-carry in the off-lane, and that's the kind of role Weaver's going to be playing now for their team. So maybe a smart heads-up ban coming out there from a moment.
Reserve time.
And now looking for this last pick.
10 seconds remaining.
From a moment. They only got about 10 seconds left in the reserve time. Really not sure what they're going to want to go. It really depends on how they think they're going to run these lanes. And Alchemist is not one of the heroes I would have expected, but it does look like it's a good sign that we're going to see double dual lanes coming out. Alchemist can be a solo, certainly, don't get me wrong, but pairs up pretty well in lane with Shadow Demon, and I think you would take advantage of that in this position. Gives them a pretty powerful lane for that. They can also run another lane in the mid with the Lifestealer and the Wisp. And they're a pretty powerful ganking pair as well. Lifestealer obviously pretty strong early on in the game when he can move around, get those kills, tether up to a hero, and then just sort of run in at them. And DDT now got to think about if that does mean they're going to be running the double duels and how they're going to respond to it. So not sure what they're going to do. If they're going to try and contest the double duels, it's kind of hard considering what their heroes already picked up are. The Weaver can dual lane with another support, but the support that's with Weaver isn't going to have a particularly great time. Queen of Pain really wants the solo XP. Can't imagine seeing her do much except run into one of those dual lanes and hope for the best. They could pick up something like Enchantress if they want for a jungling hero, or maybe even who was the same Nature's Prophet. They banned that out themselves. Storm Spirit could jungle. It's kind of difficult to jungle on Axe, maybe if they know how to play Axe particularly well. He can run as a jungle. There's a good chance that they're going to be running into like a solo Clockwork with that Phantom Lancer Keeper Light lane, and it's not going to be particularly great for them to have another support. And Keeper Light, not the best roamer, so it does leave them a little bit vulnerable to that. And they're eventually just going to go with Bane, so they're just going to pick up another support, hope for the best. We'll see how they end up laning it, what these supports really do, if they're just going to pull and hope to get the best of experience, and maybe just deny experience from Clockwork, or if they're going to, maybe a moment are going to lane something a little bit differently, try to get something done that way. I don't know, but we'll find out momentarily. I do sort of favor a moment's draft at the moment, though. Of course, it's hard to say anything else, just because nobody really likes to watch the Phantom Lancer Keeper Light combo. It's terrible to play against, and it's terrible to watch. But we're in game. Thanks for coming, guys, once again. This is a match in the Thermal Take eSports Weekly number 10. Powered by Androids and broadcast by me, Kanaz, on their TV channel. Thanks for coming, and we will get going on this game. Go over the players. First for DDT on the Dire side, we got Foshu taking up the Phantom Lancer. Chevchelios on the Bane. I'm going to say Chev on the Bane. Frummy going to be on the Queen of Pain, Danny. On the Keeper of Light, and that leaves Zafen on the Weaver. Meantime, for a moment on the Radiant side, we got Penguin. Ticket of the Life Stealer, Mutant King on the Wisp. Steezy on the Alchemist. A Moment Forever on the Shadow Demon, and that leaves Elemental on the Clockwork Goblin. So it does appear that they're running those double dual lanes, at least at first. That's a nice picture, huh? Okay. Dire side everything? No.
The battle begins.
Peeking for wards probably being dropped.
Haste!
So both teams doing their initial warding. A lot more wards bought by the Radiant team. Elemental able to get a ward on the creep hole as well as in the jungle there. It's going to give him a lot of vision, make him feel a little bit safer in this off lane, at least for the moment, where he's going to be running up against the Tri coming out from DDT. And they drop the sentry. First sentry not going to spot anything out because the ward is over here. Second sentry's in range. They're going to walk in. They find it now. We'll be able to get it down in time as they should catch the second spawn. Unless Bane decides to block it, maybe not. It looks good. Alright. So second spawn will be there. They can start stacking, pulling, whatnot. In the meantime, it looks like they are going for a gank in this mid lane in front of me. Don't think they'll be able to get it. Penguin doing some damage though. Really committing pretty hard to that gank. Taking some damage from the tier 2 tower as well. But they take a lot of health off of Frummy, and that's going to keep him back. He's going to use all of his regen already. Buys the bottle now though. Which is definitely going to help give him some staying power in this lane. Let's see how Alchemist is leveling. He did get a point in Goblin's Greed. He's level 2. I'm not sure if he got it at level 1. We'll see what he gets at level 3 momentarily to really know how he's building. If he's going to go aggressive with the Unstable Concoction build, or if he wants to go for the big farm with the Greed. And no skill point used yet. Keeping an eye on other lanes in the meantime. It looks like a Moment Forever. Getting a little bit of a fight with Weaver, who's trying to block his pull. Taking a lot of damage actually. Moment Forever not really going to win this fight. There's a disruption. And in the meantime, first blood does happen in the mid lane. Try to watch this Weaver. He's going to get away now. Needs to be careful. There's Steezy. Is he going to be able to get in range for the stun? No, he's going to stun himself. Unfortunately. Not quite able to get around the corner on the Weaver. Wasn't sure where he was going to be. And so, you gotta just waste a little mana as well as health, and Zaphin's going to get away just fine. But we did see that Queen of Pain got first blooded in that middle lane. That went the way of, I believe, Wisp got the last hit. Let's head back to base. Has Soul Ring as well as Bottle up now, so the harass is just going to keep coming out here in this middle lane. Open wounds will pretty much always be off cooldown, and it looks like Wisp just going to head to the bottom lane, finds a regen rune as well. So pretty big there. Going to be able to just throw a lot of spells their way to see if a Sentry Warrior's Dust. There's the disruption. Can they get in range? He's going to be able to get in range for the stun. Zaphin not going to stay alive. Alchemist ends up getting that last hit. Another kill going the way of a moment. Probably taking some damage once again. It looks like Moon King might be in some trouble, and with that last tower hit does go down. Not able to tell they're quite far enough away fast enough to really heal. So giving a kill back the wave DDT to that Queen of Pain after getting first blood. Now Penguin going to be forced down a lane. Not really going to be able to stand around by himself against the Queen of Pain. He's not really out leveling or either actually getting out leveled, which is again not surprising there in duel versus a single lane. And while they're keeping the Queen of Pain kind of far back, they're not just keeping her completely on a lane. They don't have really the zoning potential with just Wisp to do that. But with this Wisp back now, Queen of Pain needs to be a little careful. Gonna bottle crow up a little bit. Make sure that bottle's full just in case it comes up. Keep her light. Gonna steal that haste rune in the upper river. And those Queen of Pain really can't contest. This Wisp has nothing really better to do with his time than going camp runes. So just gonna make sure that he denies it from somebody, even if the Queen of Pain can't really get it. It needs to be in lane, getting that XP. Lifestealer doing decent on farm, a little bit behind Queen of Pain. Big farmer right now is going to be the Phantom Lancer. Check his build. It looks like he is maxing Unstable Concoction. Over Greevil's Greed. No points in the Acid Spray yet. And there we go in the mid lane again. Queen of Pain going to be able to blink out. None of the spirits going to hit, unfortunately, so no damage coming off the Wisp from that. Is harassing on the creep wave a little bit, though. That's going to be there for a moment forever. Zaphin going to be able to get away, however. One reason you might consider grabbing those sentry wards when you're going up against the Weaver. He's getting closer and closer to level 6. 4.5 now. Once he gets level 6, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to actually kill. You can use that time lapse to really get away. That's going to wear off on the Weaver. Zaphin needs to be careful. Moment forever not going to continue over there though with that creep wave showing up. It's too much damage and he's probably not getting the kill anyways. Since coming out of disruption, Shikuchi probably going to be off cooldown. Or close to it. Some pigs coming out in the top lane. Looks like they're going to try and continue keeping Elemental off of the lane. He's only level 3 on this Clockwork, but he has been able to steal some experience, which is better than maybe he should be doing considering there are 2 supports basically hanging out up here. Keeper Light's doing a bit of jungling up to level 3 as well, and the Bane only sitting at level 2. I think he's been doing a lot of pulling, but not really succeeding maybe the way he wants to be. Ward going to get dropped in the jungle once again, so Elemental feels safe. Regen going to be in the low river in a moment forever, going to take it on the Shadow Demon because Queen of Pain is heading down there with no sight, so just going to be wasting time. Trying to get the rune, expected it to be there, now knows that probably Shadow Demon took it. Needs to be aware of that. Moving around with the smoke. I'm going to try and probably set some sort of kill up here. It's going to be kind of hard.
Denied.
And maybe a little bit too early from Moon King on that tether. Gonna scare from me back. They're continuing to go in. Sonic Wave gonna come out. And he's just gonna be able to get away. Gets the kill on Shadow Demon even.
I do suffer.
And just able to get away. So a little sloppy there coming out from a moment. And they get punished. Shadow Demon loses his life. Queen of Pain gets away completely scot-free. That's gonna be 2-2 now in terms of kills. Pigs in the middle lane. Bane has made his way here as well. Trying to get any work done that he can, but not going to really have much success. He's moving down towards the bottom lane. Probably going to just drop this ward. don't really expect him to continue down this way, but it looks like he's planning on it. I don't know where he wants to ward up there. Okay. I was pretty surprised if he was going to actually head all the way bottom. He's not going to be able to help the Bane much. Frummy, low on HP, going to get down. IO getting the last hit with the spirits once again. It's level 5 now. We have level 6 on the lifesteal. Actually use the infest as a nuke there. And this Bane needs to be careful in the mid lane. Even with the brain sap, the level, and the nightmare, not really going to be able to survive if they try and get in a fight. Elemental taking some harassment top lane for Foshu. Shouldn't be losing his life, but there is going to be some mana returned by Danny on the Keeper Light with that chakra magic, and that's going to keep Elemental pretty far back. Some pigs coming out in a moment forever. That Wizard's there, and it looks like Chev is going to be able to get it on the Bane, and it's kind of scary for Steezy on this Alchemist. He's going to head back. Looks like he is going the Shadow Blade build. It's kind of become the standard for Alchemist. You pop that Unstable Concoction, head into the stealth, and then you're able to set up the stun very, very easily. Whereas before, as soon as people saw you charging it, they would just run away and you would stun yourself. And be very sad. But if you're in stealth already, it's not the worst thing. Steezy being a little aggressive here. Wants to keep getting that farm. I don't know if Chev could actually set anything up with just the Weaver here. Alchemist is a pretty naturally tanky hero. He's about 850 HP with all his ult. And level 1 ult adds 300 health. Yep, 300 bonus health. So he's going to have about 1200 HP. They don't really do a lot of damage with level 3B. They don't have the lockdown from Fiend's Grip that I think would really be necessary to get this kill. They're going to spot out that a moment forever is here. He has no reveal. So they're not really going to be able to set up this kill in Zoffin. But Steezy's going to continue getting farm. And the farm, pretty good on him. Bane going to port towards the mid lane from me. Already backed off after some open wounds on him. So a little bit more of a passive game this game. 3-2 is the kill score. Zoffin chasing him out forever a little bit there. Gonna get some harass laid on him. Then just going to Shikuchi away completely unharmed. And here we go. Wisp teleport on Foshu. There's the dust as well and the open wounds. It looks like he's going to be losing his life. Not going to be able to get out of here alive. IO gets that kill. Now Danny trying to charge up and illuminate. Maybe a little too aggressive. And they're going to pour it out. Now Frummy. Going to ult Elemental. He's going to be the one who loses his life. As the Lifestealer gets pulled out by the Wisp. Not necessarily sure if that was the right play. Lifestealer wasn't full health. It's possible they could have left him and taken the Clockwork out, and the Lifestealer would have just been able to escape with a Rage. But it is going to be the play they take nonetheless. It does lead to a kill on Phantom Lancer. They trade their offlane Clockwork. It's not really having a great game anyways. He's approaching level 6 though with that assist. Probably taking some damage to the mid lane, just going to be able to blink away. Smart blinks coming out from Frummy using the blink, not necessarily to just go the closest to her base, but trying to put as much of a barrier in between her and the Lifestealer while she's slowed as possible, going down like the cliff this way before she's gone like through the woods. Trying to make sure that there isn't a direct path to him. Zoffin going for a little harass and Moon King in the middle lane. And I'm going to get a little bit back on Penguin as well, but it doesn't look like they're really going to be able to set up a kill with this. Frummy getting some chakra magic after that Scream of Pain. Gets pretty much all the mana back. What level he's got it? Only 2. So pretty much exactly all the mana back. Another relocate coming in. This time it's going to be a Danny. Penguin trying to do what he can. Should be able to get that kill with the sleep, but Wisp loses his life as well, and now Lifestealer kind of stuck out here. No infest for another few seconds. He gets hit by that Spirit Lance. Going to have the Rage up as well. But be considering turning around Frummy. Going to be stunned and going to be losing his life. Penguin's double kill. No open wounds up on him and no mana for it. For a couple seconds it looks like they're just going to be forced to back off, but Steezy rotating in has that Shadow Blade, but getting that big farm in the bottom lane and already sending up kills with it. Zoffin chasing after a moment forever, throws out the swarm, not going to land because he was expecting the Shadow Demon to go this way, but Shadow Demon actually went this way, because that's where his teammates are. It's weird drawing in water. You can't really see it, it's on the ground. So not going to be able to get that sort of kill. It's 6-4 now, going to be the kill score. All they really got there was Wisp, and they end up losing both the Keeper of Light and the Queen of Pain. I know that for definitely a moment would have preferred to have gotten this Phantom Lancer kill once again with those relocates. That's what they're really trying for here. But getting 2 kills and one of them on the Queen of Pain is still certainly a pretty good thing. How is Phantom Lancer farming at the moment? Looks like he's got a lot of last hits. His net worth still definitely lacking by comparison though to this Alchemist, who's basically getting free farm as well, but he has Grievel's Greed. That builds up. When your last hits start getting worth double, basically, it's pretty good gold. Pretty good gold. He's up to 1100 gold as well. Not sure what he's going to want to go for, if it's going to be something like AC, or if they're going to wait and maybe let Lifestealer pick that up. Smoke being used in this middle lane. I don't know where, if it looks like the light is being drawn towards the top lane. They want to go for another kill on this Phantom Lancer. Dust is up on IO. Looks like they're not sure what path they want to go necessarily. A moment going to be revealed. They know someone's there, and it's going to be Foshu. Danny going to get hit by some spirits and then get disrupted. So it looks like that gank not going to work too well. And here comes the relocate towards the middle lane as well as the TP. From me, it looks like that's who they're going to want to be. Who is that on? Is it Illusion? And everyone just getting out alive. Clockwork catching a hero. With that, now the fight's coming in the top lane. The supports are stuck here. Won't forever try to do whatever damage you can to Chev. Penguin trying to get him back after relocating. Can they get the last hit? Not quite from me. Taking some damage. Phantom Lancer's able to kill off Showdew in the meantime. Pretty much a guaranteed kill, and now Foshu continuing to go actually pretty aggressively. Looks like he's going to be able to get a live Steezy. Manages to finish off Queen of Pain in the back of the fight. No Shadowblade for him for quite a few seconds still. Needs to be pretty careful. Low on HP. Trying to just stay alive and going to go down. Pretty aggressive by him there to just kind of suicide to kill off the Queen of Pain.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Gonna keep moving on though. We got the heroes still hanging out here from both sides. Zafin trying to farm a little bit in the mid lane on this Weaver. Up to 2300 gold. With this kind of savings, it seems like he might be planning on going for the Radiance. I don't know if that's the right call at this point, considering how far off he still is, and it's 16 minutes in the game. Doesn't have the relic. It's going to be at least a 20-minute Radiance at the rate he's going, which is certainly still very quick, but he could have had other items at this point and started being more relevant for his team. I guess if they're committing pretty hard toward the late game, hedging really hard towards that late game, with heroes like Phantom Lancer or like Queen of Pain, maybe it's not the worst idea. Alchemist, not the best carry in the super late game, just because he does kind of have a skill that's useless in the form of Grievel's Greed. It doesn't have as many passives as maybe a lot of heroes that you think of as strong carries do. From me getting back, it's stunned a little bit, but there's going to be the chops. He's going to lose her life. That teleport going to be cancelled off, so another kill going the way of Steezy. In that bottom lane, looks like some fights going up in the top lane as well, though. Penguin moving in on Foshu. We got Wisp here as well. Is there any sight up there? There's Dust. It's going to be pretty aggressive, especially with the Bane, and they've revealed themselves, so they got to be expecting more support to show up. It is going to come in the way of Danny. On the Keeper of the Light. I'm going to try to do whatever he can to keep them alive. Foshu going in on him. The Dust is going to be there, and they're just going to be forced to back off, though. Foshu taking some damage. This open wood's going to be on Chev. It's going to be his death. With that, Infest does a lot of damage as well. Probably could have gone on Foshu, but not going to really commit to it. Now we got Frummy up here in the top lane, not going to be able to keep up with Penguin. He's too fast with those phase boots, and she's pretty slow with the treads. While this is going on, we have towers being traded elsewhere on the map. The mid got denied. Alchemist takes the bottom. Now doing damage to the tier 2. The creep wave not really going to be able to do too much. And Steve's going to back off now, forcing supports out. Here comes Zafin. In with the Shikuchi, they know he's there. He's just going to port out. And a moment forever going to be able to completely escape there. They don't have any stuns at the moment. Penguin taking some harass from this horde of Phantom Lancer illusions. Looks like Phantom Lancer did go for the drone build. Has the defusal sent to him now as well, though, which is a pretty big deal. He's going to start being able to do a lot of damage in these fights, as well as burning the mana of that life stealer. He's not going to be able to use rage maybe as many times as he normally would. Through the course of the fight, if he has an army of Phantom Lancer illusions on him, getting overcharged and now to fight that creep wave, and we're going to get the last hit in the tower. Quick and easy, so a little bit more gold going his way on this net worth chart, but still, 2 heroes on a moment side, both at carries, farming very well. These double duel lanes worked out beautifully for them. Clockwork even getting some levels. Take a quick look at the level chart. He's pretty much close to where the Queen of Pain is in levels. Had a lot of time struggling in the mid lane, a lot of trouble. Trying to run into that dual lane Lifestealer and Wisp. Lifestealer didn't even necessarily have to focus on farming maybe as hard as he normally would. Just could kind of go in on the Wisp. Easy. Using his ultimate. Gonna drop a little acid spray, pinging as well. Letting them know. Giving them the business. We got a horde of Phantom Lancers chasing after Penguin and Moon King. Well, looks like not too much going to be happening there. And the supports from DDT kind of moving around. Looks like Queen of Pain with the haste rune going to be able to get away just fine. So, moment of relative peace on the map. We can look at experience and gold. 500 going to be the experience lead, and that's for DDT. In time for gold, it's well in favor of a moment by about 3.5k. It's a little bit bigger of a lead, but definitely a pretty close game, all things considered. However, you got to think, as we head into this mid game, the lineup coming out from a moment on the Radiant side is going to be a little bit stronger. I think DDT hedged a little hard on late game, especially with their builds. Let's see if Weaver is going to head back now for that Lincoln. It's probably tired of getting killed, or at least taking damage from the stun coming out of that Alphys from me. Looking to go down here and going to lose their life, even with the wand charges. Lifestealer gets that last hit. Looks like the swarm going to be thrown. Zoffin gets hit by dust. Forces him to want to back off.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And Chev gonna be in some trouble. Taking pretty good amount of damage there, trying to Fiend's Grip Penguin for as long as possible. Looks like Danny gonna go down to Elemental in the side of the fight as well. Uses ultimate on the Clockwork for that. Zoffin is gonna get slowed up by the Demonic Purge, Shikuching away, gets the dust off of him. Keeps him alive, at least for the moment. In the meantime, really quick, going towards the top lane. They want to go on the Phantom Lancer. He's already running though, and no one really there in time to get anything. The dust, of course. Actually, there is no dust. Looks like Elemental had some. Reload gonna bring him back into the mid lane. They're probably gonna be in a little bit of trouble here. They're going on from me. No one really gonna be able to get in range. Zoffin continuing to chase pretty aggressively. Moon King taking some damage. Zoffin though taking a little bit more, and he's gonna lose his life from that infest. Now from me going for the kill, gonna lose his life as well. Neutrals get the kill. Ancients, those kill stealing bastards. There we go. Bane, he's caught in some trouble as well, stuck between the Alchemist and the Lifestealer. Not where you want to be. Not where you want to be. Gonna lose his life as well. Lifestealer finishes an Orchid. Looks like the ult gonna come off from Elemental, and that's Danny. A lot of trouble. Gonna get pushed out, however, by the Blinding Light, so good play there by Danny. And the tower hits the cogs just enough to give him an escape path. Gets pushed a little bit, but it's not enough damage to kill him off. Double damage in the lower river. Pink's continuing to come out. No one picking it up, though. And it doesn't really look like anyone's going for it. Kind of surprised to see it. There we go. Elemental didn't just take it. Can't imagine they were going to leave it around. I feel like at that point Queen of Pain will eventually get it. That's not really the position you want to be in. It does look like AC is going to be the pickup from Alchemist. I think this is probably right. It allows Lifestealer to go a little bit more of an aggressive build while still having the AC on the team. From me, silenced up, purged up, dead. Another tier 1 in the mid lane gonna go down. IO getting the last hit. Because, yeah, IO gonna be able to finish the mech probably with that. Not quite. about 5 gold away. So we'll have it very, very shortly.
Radiant's
And there we go. Recipe up.
fallen.
So that gives them even more stability in these fights with those urn charges, the soul ring, the tether, of course, allowing Io to transfer that stuff to whoever he's with. And now that mechanism, giving even more healing potential here. He's often going to get silenced up as well. This Orchid just working out beautifully. They have 2 heroes that are so vulnerable, and even to some extent Fanlancer, if he gets Orchid up, can't really go invisible. Of course, with the illusions, it's a little bit harder to do that. They're pouring up to the top lane. The relocate going to be a little short. I think they need to go a little more aggressively. They need to get the silence off on him. There's the dust and the silence. Foshu gonna be losing his life to sleep, keeping him alive for a moment, but with that rage going to be able to get the kill. The relocate not pulling anyone out. Shev in some trouble as well. Penguin just too strong, beyond godlike now. Steezy gonna port out, and it looks like Penguin thinking about just going back in. Gonna get the open wounds on Danny. There's the rage. Danny gonna go down. Triple kill. From he's still silenced up. And barely surviving one last hit. No, not going to be able to get it. Lifestealer just going to back off. Gets hit by the buckler charge. The mech still not sent out to Moon King, unfortunately. But here we go. Tier 2 going to go down now. DDT feeling like they're on the back foot in a more serious way than they have been for most of the game. 20-9 now the kill score, and this Lifestealer kind of getting out of control. They still have to worry about the Alchemist, who's doing well as well. The Fiend Grip going to come up on Penguin. Do they have anything that can really save him? It doesn't look like it at the moment. He's trying to walk away, armlet toggling to survive, but it's not going to work. And he goes down. Weaver getting a 735 gold bounty on that one. Going to help Weaver quite a bit. Should be almost enough to finish off that Lincoln's, and Moon King going to lose his life as well. There are pings. They're trying to Elemental trying to get in a position where Wisp could tether to escape, but not going to succeed. Finds another double damager in that upper river, just going to snag it. Because all the pressure coming from him won't going to have to halt for just a little bit while Lifestealer waits to respawn. In the meantime, Steezy does get a kill on a tower in that bottom lane. Tier 2 does go down. Picks up a Hyperstone, so it looks like we're going to be seeing a Mjolnir actually coming out from him next. Or maybe he just wants all the attack speed and doesn't even care to finish it into anything. It's kind of unusual to see the Hyperstone picked up first when you're going for Mjolnir. Usually players do like to get the Maelstrom, because it gives that damage, it gives that chain lightning. But just wants the attack speed, wants to be attacking as fast as possible. And as we can see, he attacks very, very quickly already. And it looks like they're thinking about going for Roshan. There is no sight here from the dire side, so if they want to go for it. Pig's coming out from Nate's like, hey, guys, what's up? Steezy doing okay though, the regen from his ult, keeping him in good spirits. Doesn't have any lifesteal or anything like that, but does a lot of damage with this acid spray just on the right clicks. Penguin going to show up now as well. We'll see if they give it to Lifestealer. Does in fact take the Aegis. Probably the right call with how the game's going on. Lifestealer are a little bit more vulnerable to actually getting killed in these fights. They have to focus him down because of the amount of damage he does right now. And just being able to walk around, pretty much relevant. Looks like there was a ping to defend the mid tower. Dire squad want to go on Frummy. Can they get the kill? The Cog's going to be there. Frummy just able to port out. Relocate coming in as well. Frummy in some trouble. Once again, the relocate spot out. The Orchid going to be there. Ghost Scepter doing whatever it can, but the Infest going to do a lot of damage while she's Ghost Scepter up. The stun going to be there from Steezy. Can he get off? No, Steezy going to stun himself. Off to the side of the tower, the relocate going to pull Wisp back out, leaves Penguin there. Illuminate flies through, hits mostly on the creep wave. And this tower going to start getting shredded. DDT. Not feeling like they're in a position to do anything about it. Enfeeble's going to be there at Steezy. Helps take away a lot of the damage he's currently doing in these fights. Only minus 30, I guess he's only at level 1, really. Yeah. I guess he's only level 9, decided to get some points and stats. Kind of surprised to see that. The additional points are worth basically the same amount. Mana cost goes up a little bit, but having minus 120 damage could be a pretty big deal here. When we have a hero like this Alchemist who hasn't bought any damage at all yet. He's just relying on the attack speed. Attacking really fast for low damage is great when the damage exists. But he does about 140 damage right now. And if he's only doing 20 damage a hit, really is scary, even with the armor debuff. Zothan, gonna get orchided up. Lincoln's gonna block the open wounds, however, so it looks like he's gonna be perfectly fine. And here we go, Frummy going in actually on Moon King. The spear is gonna be there as well. The ult coming off, not doing a ton. It looks like Moon King probably gonna be losing his life. Disruption gonna be there, Spirit Lance follows up, and it's gonna be the death. And with that, Fiend's Grip able to get the kill on Penguin. He's gonna revive from the Aegis. But a good fight coming out from DDT, that counter gank. Working out pretty well. The Illuminate gonna hit on Penguin as well. Zoffin in some trouble though. Going to get slowed, gonna get silenced, gonna get killed. Shadow Demon dies as well to Weaver though. Immediately buys back. Looks like Steezy gonna be stunning himself once again. Doing a lot of that to himself this game.
Top tower has fallen.
But doing his best, trying to keep at it. It's probably worth it if he runs up and stuns himself from time to time, because when he gets those stuns off in the middle of the fight, if he's able to get in, get a big stun off, maybe hits a couple people, it'd be a really big game. Of course it is AoE on your target, but it's pretty small AoE. You're usually not going to be hitting multiple people unless they're really clumped. It looks like they're heading into the Dire Jungle, maybe hoping to find out Foshu. He's going to throw a Spirit Lance now. They're pinging, they know where he's going to be. He's going to be retreating, but can they really get in range? Doesn't look like it. It didn't cut far enough even with that gem on Penguin. He's going to check in the woods just to see. But Foshu already well out of there. Steezy stunned himself once again. Looks like he has that Mjolnir done now. Not sure what he's going to want to go for next, if he's going to pick up something like BKB, just worried about magic damage. I don't think that's really going to help maybe as much as he'd want it to. But having this Mjolnir and the definitely the ability from Mjolnir is going to be pretty relevant. Steezy just constantly stunning himself. These concoctions not working out well. He's trying to set up the kills. He wants to be able to get the stun off, but everyone's always running away on DDT's side. They're playing pretty passive. They want to stay alive. They want to stay in this game. We look gold. Now 14.5, approaching 15k in favor of a moment, and we see the experience for that one big long fight start going the way of a moment as well. Went from pretty close to even now to over 10k in a moment's favor. They were able to get a lot with those fights, and now DT kind of just have to hold on. Their late game is pretty strongly hedged, but Weaver really hasn't gotten anything picked up in quite some time. Looks like the Phantom Lancer's trying to pick up a butterfly. By the time he gets it, if Lifestealer notices, he'll be able to grab a MKB before really the evasion becomes too big. And Steezy probably could go for one of his own if he really wants to. Gives him some damage, he already attacks quite fast. We're going to see Shadow Demon steal some illusions from the Phantom Lancer, trying to get an army of his own. Not really going to succeed with the only level 1 in Disruption at the moment. Sitting at level 10, actually, surprisingly.
And it's off.
Rocket Flare gonna go to the top lane, trying to keep the pressure up there. And a moment, happy to just sit here, keep the pressure applied in all the lanes, make sure that if DDT ever make a mistake, they're gonna get punished immediately. All the lanes are gonna be pushing. Giant circle drawn on the map by Shadow Demon. And here we go, the gank coming off on Foshu. He's trapped at Cogs for a moment, going to be able to get out with those illusions. The gem coming in, Foshu getting pushed back quite a bit, but it looks like they're not going to be able to set up a kill. Penguin, not able to get there quite in time. It's possible they need to use the relocate for that one to just get there as quickly as possible. Maybe didn't want to expend it. Want to have it available in case they needed to rock some sort of split push. They're keeping the Phantom Lancer pretty pinned down though. Really don't have the farm they really want. Lincoln's going to be broken by the Mjolnir Chain Lightning. Penguin going to get hit by a Spirit Lance and then diffuseled up, taking a lot of mana damage there. Already down to half mana, hasn't cast any spells. Disruption coming out, it looks like, on the Phantom Lancer illusions. Once again, just a moment. Trying to build up their own army of illusions to combat the Phantom Lancer. And still not having great success. Curious how long they could keep this up if they're just stalling out. before the Roshan respawn in a couple minutes. Still about 3. Not really doing damage to the towers, which means they're not being super successful. There's a circle drawn on the map on these ancients, telling the supports, hey, just go snag these. We need to be getting as much out of this as possible. We can be farming the radiant or dire jungle as well. Get some stacks on the ancients. We can do those as soon as we're forced back. And then we can just keep building this advantage. Zafin and a moment for we're gonna spot each other out. Disruption gonna come off, just brings the Lincolns though. And it looks like Zafin will be able to get away. No one even really around to set up that kill. Zafin farming some ancients up. Reloki gonna be there. Jim is there as well in the silent Zafin. Buddy, a little aggressive. Little aggressive. You got spotted out on your way. It's probably time to cut your losses and just back off. Relocate's gonna be there and then brings them back to that middle lane. So they do get a kill for that relocate, and it's on the Weaver. One of the core heroes that's really able to pick off these supports in the fights, and it looks like that's the sign that they were waiting for. Just waiting for DDT to get sloppy, to get impatient. This tier 3 going down very quickly. Glyph going to be used while it's sitting at about a 5th HP. I'm not sure they're going to keep going for it. Looks like they're probably willing to back off now. They did a lot of damage to the tower. There's going to be disruption on a Family Illusion once again. Illuminate flying out, not really going to land on much of anything. Acid Spray going to be put there as well, just keeping the creep wave taking damage. It's going to go down very quickly. If their creep wave's still alive, they can try and just finish off this tower. The Illuminate going to fly through once again. Penguin gets the last hit of the tower. Clockwork going to miss his ult. Pretty unfortunate there. He's low on mana as well. Ult from Queen of Pain flies through, but it only really catches on Steezy and Penguin, and those aren't the heroes she really needs to be hitting. This is get on heroes like Wisp, like Shadow Demon, who are going to take so much damage that they can't really do anything in the fight. Even Clockwork to some extent. I'm not sure what that line means.
Boom! There it goes.
But they get the Bailey Rex down. We're going to have Roshan up in about a minute. And I expect that we might see the last big fight of the game coming out as this Roche Pit. If a fight does break out, if they give it up for free, DDT won't absolutely lose the game as a result of any sort of fight conflict there, but they will have to deal with an Aegis. Probably once again on the Snakes. He's hard enough to kill one time with this Heart now. They're going to have to deal with them twice. They don't hit necessarily that hard, but they're very, very tanky. Won't forever with the Haste Run just being a nuisance in the middle lane. Unlikely to actually get himself killed considering he has the haste, but with those diffusal charges up on the Family there could die. Going to drop a disruption on the Family Illusions once again, trying to build an army. This time having a little bit more success, but they're going to still go down in the end. Zafin popping the time lapse in the mid lane, and actually see if he took damage or if that was a misclick. It's a rather low cooldown at level 3, only about 40 seconds, so if he took some damage it might have been worth it just to peel that back off, get up to full health. More stolen Family Illusions. This time they're actually Phantom Edge Illusions, so gonna survive. Teleport coming into this bottom lane, Zafin already running away. Relocate just not as quick as it needs to be to really catch a hero like Weaver. It just sort of retreat. But Weaver, oh, Elemental went for the ult, catches on a creep wave that happens to be passing by right at that time. It isn't able to get to stun there in time. But anytime Rosha goes down, and they're going to give Alchemist actually the Aegis this time. He does have a Pasture picked up now. So he attacks very fast, has the lightning attack, and stuns people. Losing a lot of mana. I haven't actually seen him use the Mjolnir buff, but it's very powerful against Phantom Lancer because he relies on a lot of packets of damage coming at you from multiple targets very quickly. Having the chance on being attacked to shoot Chain Lightning is kind of a huge boon. And we'll see where a moment want to take this fight now. It looks like a couple heroes heading towards the top lane want to go on from me. I don't know how much success they're really going to have with this. Elemental gonna miss his ult again. He's throwing out a lot of them because he does have that egg that's picked up because it's like a 12-second cooldown. So he can afford to take a little bit riskier ones without really any harm done except for using a bit of his mana. And of course, if he does get a big one off, it could be pretty much game closing at this point. Take another peek. Experience in gold. 15k now going to be the experience lead.
Boom, there it goes.
Gold league going to be about 20k. Yeah, let's check buyback status real quick. Looks like mostly the Radiant team actually sitting on it. Freelancer should have that butterfly done. Actually decided to go back for the Mantis style after picking up the Talisman Evasion. Just wanted the evasion. Here we go. The issue going to be on Chev. He's going to lose his life. Even with sleeping himself, not really going to do anything. Again, sleep really ineffective against Lifestealer. He can remove it just by right-clicking you without actually getting it on himself because he has rage. Wisp going to have to relocate, pull himself back out. Sees he getting in a little bit of a fight with a whole bunch of Phantom Lancers. Not going to really succeed at doing much except chasing him off. And the push actually sitting in the mid lane at the moment. I'm not sure why DDT are bothering. Looks like Steezy going to kill off these illusions, keeping the pressure towards the top lane. Maybe want to rotate there, get the creep wave there, go in, take this, and then rotate up. Yeah, that was legible, right? Terrible at drawing. So, looks like they are trying for him. Surprised they're not committing any harder. They're just giving time for heroes like Weaver to split push to try and farm and catch up. He's up to 2200 gold. Picked up the medallion that doesn't actually do much. And they actually went towards the bottom lane, letting the Alchemists keep the pressure up towards the top. They saw in window. Just sneak a couple hits in on that tier 3 bottom. They got it to about half HP. In the meantime, now Alchemist sitting in the top lane, doing some damage there as well. Has the creeper there, going to back off for the moment, and then back in this bottom lane, doing damage. The split push coming out actually against the Phantom Lancer this time. Phantom Lancer and Weaver getting out split pushed by Alchemist. Not something you see very often. And Frummy going to be the first casualty. It's looking like the Fate's Group going to be there. Lifestealer doing a pretty good amount of damage, holding him in place, bringing that mana. Going to rage before the Spirit Lance really hits up, and going to time lapse, staying alive for the moment. Diffuse is going to be an elemental, but he's also put to sleep. And then going to ult to try and just get out of this fight. Doesn't want to keep being committed. He's in some trouble, it looks like. Frummy in trouble again this time. No Ghost up there to save him from Chev. Taking some hits as well. Penguin. And way too hard. He did pick up that MKB eventually. Zoffin chasing after Elemental. Looks like he should be able to get this kill. The silence. Not quite there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I think it's going to be forced back. They're going towards the top lane. Help Steezy out. Foshu going to get spotted out by the gem. Penguin comes in. Zoffin here as well now. It's somewhat careful. The melee rank's going to go down. Steezy gets force staff out of the Illuminate, now going on Zoffin. And then pulled out of the fight by the relocate from the Wisp. Whew. GG going to get called. DDT. They're done here. They lost 2 lanes. Their third is already below half HP. And they're losing fights all over the place.
Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire's top barracks has fallen.
So, looks like that's going to be it for this game. A moment going to move on. They take a pretty good game. It's a little bit grindier than maybe the last couple games were a little bit closer. DDT put up a good fight, but they weren't really able to get to the late game in the way they wanted to. Had a lot of trouble really towards the mid game, which is not surprising when they pick on Nakes and Alchemist rather. As your 2 carries, Alchemist of course he's sort of a late game carry as well, but he hits his a lot earlier thanks to the Grievel's Greed. Just getting so much extra gold. And of course Lifestealer can go mid game very easily with his abilities. Attacks quite fast with the rage. Doesn't have to buy an item like BKB to get the magic community like most carries would have to. And that's going to be it for this game. Once again, thanks to Thermaltake eSports, our sponsors for this event. This is a match in the Thermaltake eSports Weekly number 10, powered by Androids TV, and brought to you by me, Kinez, on the Androids TV Twitch channel. Follow them to see more matches here. They cover other games as well if you're into StarCraft. And of course, if you want to follow me, my Twitch is twitch.tv/Kanazta, Kanazta. We'll be back momentarily with some more matches in this tournament for you guys. Thanks for coming. Feel free to stick around.